Good morning, everyone, and welcome once again to another edition of Mind Over Mornings. I'm your host, Shane Patrick Cruz. Thank you very much for being with me today, Thursday, January 14th, 2016. So let's just get this out of the way. You didn't win Powerball. No bueno, right? But it means this. You get to go back to your goals, right? You get to go back to going after what you want, right? You get to go back to trying to be successful, right? And living a great life. So that's the upside, right? Don't look at the downside. There are plenty of other people that did not win Powerball, right? So just let it be and move on. So today's quote in today's episode is a two-part series, right? Today, part 1, tomorrow, part 2. And it ends out this week on motivation and getting started, right? So let's jump directly into today's quote. So today's quote says, "Don't let the fear of possibility keep you from success." So when I first heard this, I was like, who in the world is going to be fearful of being successful? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you not want to be successful, right? At least that's what I thought. But it turns out it's actually a real thing. People actually have a fear of success. So I started researching on it, and I asked a couple of mentors of mine, and what I found out, it's a real thing. People actually do have a fear of success, and it derives from various things in people's lives, right? So I'm going to give you kind of an all-encompassing view of what that might look like for someone, maybe for you, right? It all derives from past experiences and what we've been told and what we've experienced in our own lives that develops that fear around succeeding. Here's one of the major ones, right? Maybe you've been told all your life, unfortunately, the majority of the time, this is from your own parents, that you'll never succeed in life, that you'll never get what you want, that you're just always going to be a failure, right? Unfortunately, for some people, maybe you, your parents or your family members or someone, a teacher at school, has actually verbally told you that, verbally told you straight up, you'll never amount to anything. So don't even try. That is detrimental to a person's psyche, right? Because you're told that enough over time till it gets to the point where it's ingrained in your memory and you actually believe it and you start to act upon that. Where you go, well, it's no point me even trying. Like, I'll never amount to anything anyways. Like, I'll never be successful anyways, right? So why even try in the first place, right? And a lot of this fear comes from anxiety, right? So the anxiety that you feel when you start to think, well, I'll never amount to anything anyways, why even try, right? The other part of that is you've internalized that so much that you get to the point where you feel like you don't deserve success, right? I mean, they've brainwashed you so much, whoever it was that told you these things, has brainwashed you so much where it gets to the point where you go, I don't deserve success anyways. Why? I'm just me. I'm nobody special. Why would I be successful? That is detrimental, right? The flip side of that is not such a direct approach, but more of an indirect approach, where you might be told this scenario, right? Say you're in high school, did a math test, you did not do very well on the math test, you come home, you're like, Mom, I didn't do very well on a math test. I got a D on the math test. And your mom's like, well, it's okay. You're not that great at math anyways. Such an innocent statement, but so profound upon someone's mental capability to be successful, right? Because you start to hear that enough, you're just not that good at math, right? They don't mean that in a non-loving way, but it weighs on you to the point, once again, where you start to internalize that thought till it gets to the point where you say, well, I'm just not that good at math, right? And you think that's okay, right? You've just accepted that, right? So you fear anything centered around that, right? Here's another scenario. You've tried to go after something that you've wanted numerous times and you failed to get there. So you have this constant hope where you get your hopes up and then you're constantly let down. So the fear of success lives in the fact that you don't want to let yourself, you don't want to get let down. You don't want to get your hopes way up just for them to be shot down. I personally have been in that situation plenty of times where you're like, I don't want to go after this because, man, what if I fail? Like, I don't want to experience the heartbreak, right? I know I talk a lot about relationships. This ties right into relationships where you go, well, I don't want to jump into a new relationship because I've been hurt so many times before. So I don't want the success of a good relationship. Why even try? All guys are bad. All girls are bad. Why even try to have a successful relationship? It's just going to end badly anyways, right? So you have this fear built around this scenario that you built up in your head over past experiences, right? Business-wise, I don't want to start a business. Why start a business and then, most businesses fail within the first year anyway. So why even start a business in the first place if it's more than likely going to fail anyways? Once again, a fear of success, right? So all of these things build up into a overall fear of becoming successful. So you fear the possibility of being there. I tell you something, for me, when I first got into business, right? I was like, well, gosh, I'm starting this photography business and, what happens if it blows up and I get a bunch of customers all at once? I have no way to handle a bunch of customers, right? Or, I don't have the software. I don't have Photoshop or any video editing software. Like, what happens if I get jobs for that and I'm not able to handle that and present a good quality product to my client because I don't even have that stuff, right? So now I built up this scenario this false possibility that could happen, right? So I was scared to succeed because I was scared that once I got there, I wouldn't be able to handle it, right? It happens a lot of time to athletes who are, obviously in high school or something or college, and then they get to a pro level and they blow up and they don't know how to handle it because they haven't mentally prepared themselves for success yet, right? So I say all that to say this: you have to figure out a way, whatever it is for you, in order to overcome that. Once again, I want to be able to give you actionable steps towards fixing these things, right? Towards overcoming these scenarios that you've built up in your head, right? To overcoming these false scenarios. One way for me that I've done it is through something called visualizations. So every morning, I have about 5 minutes where I visualize whatever it is that I have going on for that day, whatever scenario that's going to happen that I want it to be successful. I visualize a successful scenario within my head, right? So I do that so that once I'm in that situation, I've already been successful. Like, in my mind, I've already been successful. I've already mentally been in a successful situation for that. So I've already mentally prepared myself to be successful in whatever situation that is, right? I've set myself up for success. So that's something that maybe you guys can do. You don't have to do 5-10 minutes. You can do 2 minutes. It can be anything. Just picture a scenario, something that you have coming up that you're a little anxious about, a little scared of, a little fearful of, and go over in your head of what that will look like as a highly successful situation, right? Do that, and I guarantee it'll make a difference, a positive difference for you. Guarantee it, right? So that's it for today. That's it for part 1 for today. Make sure to tune in tomorrow for part 2 of the 2-day episodes here, and that'll be the last one for this week. I appreciate, once again, you guys coming here. I appreciate you guys subscribing to my YouTube page and commenting. I love it all. Go out there, have a great day, take action towards your goals today, and get it done. See you guys. Thanks.